This is not financial advice, not legal advice, for entertainment, educational purposes only. Anything I say is my opinion. Please don't make any financial decision based on anything I say in these videos. You guys know by now that I am not a fan of the tariffs, okay? I am not a fan of the tariffs. I don't like them. I think they're bad for America. I think they're bad for the global economy. That's just my opinion on it, okay? But I was talking about it with CSI, and CSI, he loves the tariffs. He thinks it's a great thing, okay? Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But CSI said two things that I found very intriguing. CSI said, maybe the market is crashing not because of the tariffs, but because the market makers wanted to crash. And I didn't think about that. But we also have to remember that Ken Griffin said that the market makers set the price. He said it, came out of his mouth. And then CSI said something else that piqued my interest. He said, why are there no halts when the market is crashing? And I found that very, very intriguing also. And then I started analyzing, I started thinking, and I have come to the conclusion that the market makers are in trouble. They are in so much trouble because the market is crashing that they didn't halt the stocks because they want to be able to buy it at the lowest price possible to try to maintain some of their liquidity. Because if the market makers did not want these stocks to drop like this, what they would have done, they would have initiated some halts. And they did not initiate any halts while the market was crashing, which means that the market makers wanted it to crash. And the reason they wanted to crash is the lower it goes, the less money they have to invest buying those shares that everybody's selling. Okay? We all know that when a stock is moving against the way the bad actors want, they put in a halt and they stop it from going down or they stop it from going up. They definitely have the power to put a halt in to stop the market crash, but they didn't because it benefited the market makers to let the market crash as much as possible so they could buy those shares at the cheapest price possible. So while I do believe the tariffs are bad, I believe the market makers deliberately use that market making exception to allow the market to crash, and they allowed it to crash a lot more than it would have if they didn't intervene. And what I mean is this: the market makers always put in halts when they want to stop the market from moving in any direction they want. That's what they do. They do it with AMC when AMC starts to run. They do it with anything that starts to run or move against them. They halt the stock. They didn't do that in the market yesterday. They allowed it to crash. And the reason they allowed it to crash, because they got the stocks a lot cheaper. What a lot of people don't know, and I told you guys in this another video, the market makers are required to buy even when the stock is going down. And I believe they let it crash on purpose because they could have halted it and stopped the bleeding, but they didn't. Anyway, please leave some comments. Tell me what you think. Do you think the market makers intentionally let the market crash because they needed to be able to buy these shares at reduced prices because your liquidity is drying up? Anyway, have a great day. God bless, and I appreciate y'all on this journey with me.